Hello, this is Mary from Mary's Home Sweet Home Creation, and I'm just coming back on to do a follow-up from the haircut video that I did, so I could show you how I cut my hair, and you got to see the real me with nothing, no makeup, and needing a haircut and color. So now I have got my hair colored, and I had cut it. When you saw me, you saw that I had cut it, and I used my regular scissors and to cut, and then I also used the thinning shears that were the chunky, because I have a lot of hair, and so I try to thin it out. This haircut was actually the first time I got this haircut. I owned a salon in California, and I had a hairdresser that worked for me named Dave, and he cut my hair. And he had been a hairdresser for quite a long time already when he worked there, and he just had an idea that my hair would do this, and I had a lot of hair then. That was way back in the 80s, and so I had the big hair, and so he sat me down in his chair and he cut my hair, and it was pretty much like it is here, only he had a little more going on, like the long bang over my eye over here. This bang was longer, and he had a little more spike over here. So, but anyways, that's how I ended up with this haircut originally. And over time, I've pretty much kept it this way. It grows out for a while, and then I've even cut around the sides of my head before. And when I had kids, I was always trying to keep them from pulling on my hair, or those kinds of things. Or you're just so busy, you maybe don't have time to do a lot with your hair, which has always been my motto. I don't want to spend hours on my hair, and so that's why I like this haircut, because it's pretty simple. It takes me, right now I blow dry this, because if I can just let it dry also if I go back and brush it a couple times, but my hair tends to get more fuzzy if I don't dry it. So I dried it this time, so it gives it heat will always give your hair a little bit of shine, so it gives it a little more shine, and it takes away that fuzziness as it's drying on its own. And it's quicker. You're getting out of the house or something, you got to get your hair dry, and sometimes I go with the wet if I'm in a real hurry. But it only takes about 10 minutes to dry, because it's cut exactly the way I want it, and so it's easy drying. I don't have to do a lot of rolling or any of that. I just blow it in one direction, and it pretty much does this. So anyways, I just wanted to do that follow-up with you, because I had showed you how I cut my hair, and today it's colored, and I've been every color of the rainbow probably. Well, not every. I've never been blonde, but I've been pretty much every other color: red, burgundy, black, more lighter brown. My natural hair color used to be a dark brown, but once I became a hairdresser, it was always getting changed to different colors. And now it's pretty much gray underneath. That's the natural color. So, since I am not working in a salon anymore, and I now go to the grocery store for my products, and the things that I'm familiar with are products from a while ago, because I'm been around for a while. So this particular brand is L'Oreal. And when I was in the salon, I used to use L'Oreal. I think even way back in beauty school we used L'Oreal, but it was a different product than it is now. Now they have all sorts of things going on inside this box. They have pre-conditioning and post-conditioning and conditioning, which is great if you have hair that's been damaged a lot and you need that extra strength, or you have very fine hair. Sometimes fine hair can break more easily, and so I tend to skip all of that and go right for the color, because that's really what I want, and my hair is super strong. I don't know if I've ever had it where, like, some people bleach their hair and then they color it, then they bleach it again, and then they end up with some really damaged hair. They call it cystic acid once it gets to the point where it's just breaking off. But for me, that is not how it works, because I have such strong hair. I've colored my hair for a long time, and my hair will withstand it well. So I'm not worried about the conditioning part of this. So, and sometimes it keeps it from coloring as well as it would if you put a lot of additives like that on your hair before. It can keep the color from going in. But also, since I'm older and I'm taking medication, which my doctor's slowly trying to get me off of now, that can affect your hair color, especially, or your perms or anything chemical, because all of the things you put into your body affect your hair also. So if you're taking a lot of medication or doing illegal things, illegal drugs, or anything, just in general, everything you do goes to your hair. So I think I talked to you last time about how if somebody that smokes a lot of marijuana will have their perm, if they get a perm, it'll bleed purple onto the towel, and you'll be like, well, why is that purple? And then I learned from somebody in the business that meant that they probably were smoking a lot of marijuana, because it leaves a metal residue on your hair. So unless you get that off of the hair, and your hair is very fine or damaged at all, it can melt the hair, because it heats up the metal particles that are on your hair. And yeah, it's a scary thing. But most people that do hair probably know that, and they chelate the hair, which is something that you put on the hair to strip off any residue from shampoos or medication or the other stuff. Even if you smoke, the smoke will build up in your hair. So yeah, so chelating the hair is usually something that most hairdressers will do before a chemical service too. So and I wanted to show you, this is something I have not done to my hair before. I usually just go with a straight color, and this is a semi-permanent. This one that's on my hair is a permanent color, so it will grow out this color, and then as the gray grows underneath, then I touch it up. This is a semi-permanent, and the semi-permanents are only last 8 to 10 shampoos or weeks, depends on how well it goes in your hair. They tend to go in blonde hair much better, because it's so much lighter and it just absorbs the hair better. My hair, I'm not sure how this will react. I have had a burgundy or magenta color in my hair before, but it was a permanent. So I was going to try this one and put it just like on the tips of my hair, see what it does. So I was going to come back and do that one day and show you what it does on my hair. This is actually made, it shows you all the different colors on the box, that depending on what your color of hair is. So you probably can't see this super good in this camera with the light on it, but this is on the dark brown, this one right here. So that's probably what my hair will look like in that, if it works on there. But that's if you're putting it all over. Like on this side, you could see this girl, she has much curlier hair and she has it all over, and hers is a little lighter. And here she has the dark and the purple there. So usually, like people who are getting these colors now, like the blue and the greens and those type of colors, they're usually getting their hair lightened first, and then even if they have blonde hair, sometimes they'll lighten it with some bleach to get it ready for that semi-permanent color, so that the hair, because your hair has it's like a fishtail, and it has little scales, like, and so in order to get color into the hair, you have to open those up. And so that's what happens with any type of chemical, color, is that it's opening up the cuticle and then it's pushing that color into the hair. So the hardest color to get is red, because red has the largest molecule, of any color. So trying to push that red into the hair is most difficult. And even if you get it in there, you have to make sure the cuticle is laid back down. And you might not always know that. If you use the right procedures, you'll know you've done all you can to do that. But red is the biggest molecule, and that's why it fades the fastest, because it bleeds out of the hair quicker. And it depends on the product that you use. When I was in the salon, I used Joico, and I've used Fromisi, and I used what's another one? Redken. Redken's known for its reds. That's why it's called Redken. And they now have schools, beauty schools, because it's well known for its formulas for red hair. But anyway, so that's just a little bit about coloring hair and how that works. So don't be surprised if you are a redhead who has color in her hair, that it will fade out a little faster. And also that some people have a hard time, depending on their own natural color, keeping your color the right color. Like now, mine will fade out a little bit as time goes on, and I might have a little bit more red in my hair. Like I have a little bit of highlighting going on already, and some of that is just because of the medication I'm on, but also depending on, when I taught my husband to do it, he's a mechanic, so him doing my hair it's fun, but it's funny at the same time, because he thinks I'm a car and not a person. So he will be pushing on my head like pretty heavily, and I'll be like, okay, you can lighten up on the hands, But also, when you're coloring hair, I like to use a brush. If you get a cream color, you always use a brush usually, because you have more control about where it's going. You always want to make sure you wear gloves, because you will get stained hands. It'll come off eventually, but if you're going to work and you have black hands or something, they're going to wonder what's wrong with you. So it's best to use gloves. I really don't like gloves much, but I still use them for color. And so the brush, it gives you more control when you're doing a touch-up. Excuse me. You're going right to the root of the hair. So when you're doing the touch-up, you really don't want the hair. Oh, my widow's peak. I do have a widow's peak. So let's say this part was gray. I didn't have a chance to show you when he was doing it. He doesn't want to be on camera. So, but anyway, so let's say this was gray. So that's where I usually start in the front, because that is the part you really want to cover, that and your parts, and then work from there down. If you wear your hair back, you're going to want to all make sure you cover around the ears and the back of the head. Pretty much everywhere, but those are really important spots. So you would use your brush here, and you would just brush up to the color so you're not overlapping, because overlapping is the one thing that can cause breakage in your hair. So everything's backwards in this camera, so I'm trying to do something backwards. It's very weird. So anyway, so yeah, you don't want to overlap your color if you can help it. If it happens a little bit, it's probably fine. My hair's super strong, but if you have fine hair or damaged hair, you really want to be careful about overlapping over your hair that's already got color on it, because that makes it weaker, and that's where it will break. Okay? And when you go to a hairdresser, they're going to hopefully know all that, because they've been trained to do it. Some prefer certain things over others. I love cutting hair, and I love color. And you know, back when we did perms, I like doing perms, but it's I'm not in a salon right now anyway, so I'm not doing that kind of thing all the time. I do haircuts for my husband and my son, and I was coloring my daughter-in-law's hair a couple different times, and my mother-in-law, I finally she is started to go to another hairdresser, because it's sometimes more convenient, and to get in and get it done, depending on who you're getting it done with. But anyways, yeah, so that is my story about coloring. And if you do color your hair, I know a lot of people my age are trying to get away from it, and they've come up with a lot of different ways to make that transition. I have not made that transition yet, and I'm not sure when I'm going to, but I know it's going to happen one day, that I'm going to have to give this up. But since it was my profession, part of my life, I don't know, I kind of like it. I'm used to it, and I do feel younger, and I don't know. I know I have to give it up one day. It's, you know, it is a chemical that we're putting on our bodies. So anyways, if you have any questions that you might want to ask about hair dressing, about color, about hair cutting, anything like that, I'd be happy to answer your questions if you want to message me. I went to school way back in, let's see, probably 82 and 83, somewhere in there. And I went to 2 different beauty schools. I used to do everything: pedicures, manicures, acrylic nails, fiberglass nails, color. I've done pretty much all of it. So I have a little bit of experience with that, if you have any questions. And I hope you guys have a great day. And remember to try and be the best you can be, and use your creativity to do things in your home, do things with your family that will make things easier for you. Some of my other videos are about cooking, table setting, crafting. There's just so many things you can do in your home that helps save money, and it also helps make your home comfortable for you and your family, and it's a healthier. Some of it's healthier to cook your meals instead of going out to eat all the time. And overall, when you learn how to do that and save money, you really can save money if you're not eating out all the time. So, okay, well, you have a nice evening or day, whatever it is that you're watching this video, and I will see you again soon. Probably when I get my purple going in my hair, I'll come back. Bye-bye.